state committees to come from this board, and this may help you with how we handled it last year. You may wish to entertain different. The board moved to present the same list of committees with an addition to a committee as suggested for committees of GSNA and ANA. In other words, the members we had suggested on our own are those we had elected on the district level were to be submitted as suggestions on the state level. We are at liberty to suggest for GSNA committees. Last year we did this, and Ms. Service, your name was added for the legislative committee. That was the one exception. The names were submitted in total with your name being added for legislative.
And I'll make this motion for chairman of the state legislative committee as a suggestion to go through.
Yes, a suggestion. Yes, we need only suggestions here. I believe if the board wishes, we can name these others and any other names. Is that correct, Ms. Atkins, in their request for this?
Yes, we just send them the names that we want.
With any other suggestions?
The last several years, they have sent the same list to the state, the suggestions with the additional names.
You know, Ms. Hudson, I was trying, you're on the GSNA board, if I may just discuss this momentarily. I was trying to remember how these, we submitted these, but at the time of appointments, did we give too much attention to these? We didn't, did we?
Yes, I think they were discussed.
I remember naming a person on state bylaws that we'd named on
They're always presented for the consideration. They give them to each member, and she can look at them, and then she can nominate whomsoever she wishes.
Yeah, well, I was just new on the board, and I was trying to clarify this.
They always send, when the district sends in names, they are placed before the board members.
Very good.
And then the board members may make the selection as they decide.
And are you saying that we last year sent in our list of committee members?
Yes.
Well, I make the motion we do the same thing we did last year.
Sent them to our list.
And we have another suggestion, as we had last year. We had one other suggestion, Ms. Hudson, to chair legislation. Are there any other suggestions?
I'd like to suggest Nancy Mahaffey on, what is that, practice?
Professional
Professional
practice
nursing
committee.
practice.
Miss Alford has shown an interest in the bylaws, and I'd like to suggest her name because that's a hard committee to fill.
Are there other suggestions? No, I've not taken care of the motion that we do, I assume we do need a motion to forward our own names for committees. And did I have a second?
Who made the motion?
All right, Ms. Hasty. Yes. That we submit the motion, I believe if I have it correct, Ms. Hasty correct me if not, is that we submit the elected committee members of 5th District to GSNA for suggested committee members with the other suggestions submitted by board members.
Madam Chairman, I'd like to suggest Ms. Jacqueline Tiller on the Economic Security Committee state.
Oh, I think
All
she'd be
right.
good.
Jacqueline Tiller. Are there other suggestions we may submit?
And I'd also like to suggest Norma Mash.
That same committee?
And can I make one other suggestion? I'd like to nominate Nancy Wooten for bylaws.
All right. Yes, some of these people come from without our district, and that's appropriate too. Then we have the motion to submit these names as elected for our district for GSNA consideration as suggested committee members. Is there further discussion? Then all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Then the motion is carried. The next item on the agenda we have was regarding our meeting, and we have discussed that. And our final item is to get from certainly our members who have served on the board in the past, and also any new members, any suggestions or recommendations you might have in regards to our operational procedures and plans, or a plan of work for this new year. If I might refresh your mind just briefly, last year we did talk a bit about the operational procedures as how we could move through certainly the membership, the regular meetings more readily, have the meetings move at a more appropriate hour, and at the same time give some considerations to program. And we did, if I might just share with you and refresh to the members who on board have served before, that we did have recommendations for consideration that we give some thought, and maybe now that we have new members, we ought to take this maybe as a home assignment to bring back to next board meeting. Some plan of work for our next year. What do we wish? Certainly we see our bylaws committee, we got a big job for them. And have some plan to help them move into this, and the kind of support that they need so that they can finish this task, or certainly get it well underway. Our program chair, Ms. Hammett, served very conscientiously and came back with recommendations to this board for some consideration as to planning programs. That it is very difficult to get keynote speakers at last hour dates. And then our membership committee came through with a very enthusiastic report, and more importantly than anything is new members. And still enthusiasm to the point that they're willing to say, I'll continue to serve. So I don't know whether you're ready to try to really deal with this item or not. Maybe it might be more appropriate for all of us to come and have it on the agenda for next time is what do we plan to do in I have about 10 priority lists, and I make myself a calendar for every week. And I always carry over more next week than I got done. But I personally am this methodical that I have to know sort of where are we going and have some goals. And last year I did try to summarize what our former president had formalized in the work to be done and brought to the board. And this year I didn't do this. I've given you hints and ideas of some things that have come. And certainly Carolyn Atkins and I can take the reports and summarize them again for the board. But I would like this time maybe if I might, as the chair, ask the board members to give some thought to this and maybe perhaps a suggested program for our next year. Does this seem appropriate? We have a lot of work.
Madam Chairman, do we have to change the bylaws to let the program be first? That is, after the roll call and like that? To me, it's most embarrassing when people come and stay through the whole meeting of wrangling, and 2/3 get up and leave. Does that have to be changed through the bylaws?
No, we, I believe, we can,
Suspend the order.
yes, we can suspend the order, accepting our annual meeting, of course. And this year,
The annual meeting not supposed to have
a
one,
program.
so
We have
that's
business.
out.
I think that we've been successful in trying to circulate information, and some progress certainly has been made. And I think if the board will help in formalizing a program, it certainly would help me a little bit more to move in the areas that you people would have me to move in.
May I answer Ms. Mace just a minute? Now, you do have that in your bylaws, your order of business, but that is an exception to the rule that your bylaws may not be amended other than the way it is, because your order of business is supposed to be understandable things are not in your bylaws. And if you have it in your bylaws, your order of business may be suspended by a 2/3 vote.
So
Well,
we
then I think
can,
it should be, because I don't see how the program committee, because it goes way back. 2/3 of the people, or I'll say a good third to a half, leave before the program is brought forward, and it's hard for a chairman. Because I've been the chairman years
there's really
ago,
no
and I
place
know
in here
it's
for the
embarrassing. What's that?
There's no place in this order of business for the program. It's not listed.
Madam Chairman,
But
the
they
two
always
things I
put 'em
want to
all.
ask you about, we have had more requests for clinical sessions or one thing that was brought out by the president of Fulton County Medical Society, and while he's still in office, if we could get him to do it, would be to invite the nurses to share in that 3-day session they have. They have, a day in surgery, a day on medicine, and a day on something else. And he did make the statement once that he would like to include all the nurses, and he will be going out. They have that in the spring, usually by the time we have
I
our
think
nurses
that's a
program.
wonderful suggestion.
Well, I thought while he was still in office, since he approached it himself, he told Ms. Garland once when we were out there at Emory in January, that when he was elected at that time, when he was in office, that he would like to extend the invitation to all of the nurses to share, because it is a very worthwhile program. And then we've had so many people to tell us that why don't we have more clinical sessions, which has already been started during our nurse week, that those are the requested things. One more thing I'd like to say, we ought to, if we're going to have any kind of dinner in November, not wait until November the 8th to 7th to have our decision as to whether we're going to have a friendship dinner, because we'll need to make reservations a little bit ahead of time. It would be certainly a short time between the 7th and if you have it in November.
The
way we just set up the program for November, if what is here for the meeting in November decides that's gonna be the only program for November, that takes care of that.
Take care of it.
And you can't decide that until after they've decided what they're gonna do, because it will be decided by the membership, right?
Couldn't you have a special meeting, your program committee at any time? to bring it
Miss
in?
Lacy just said we got a lot of Christmas duties
Yeah.
coming up.
Well, if they want one this year or not, we ought to decide tonight so we can go ahead
Oh,
and
just start trying.
make reservations.
Got no business.
A
I
program,
see.
this
Yeah,
has
that's
been
good.
a program, really, it's programmed only for a social get-together. Miss Hammett and her committee really got, together very, again last year on sort of rush notice and, got a program, a social program together, which, I remember was quite good, certainly on short notice. So, this is another thing, I tried to include, Ms. Hammett's recommendation about keynote speakers is, Ms. Hammett and her committee last year chose a theme for us through the year to incorporate all of the programs and gave us some very fine programs, on this theme. And I'm not speaking for Ms. Hammett, but I suspect, she's sort of like I am, some guidance, some recommendations from you people are representative of the membership. And, Jacqueline Say is, chair of, she's a director, but Miss Mallory's chair of a section. If you could bring things that you think that might interest, this then should give total consideration to the membership, which is our purpose for being, really. So if we can have suggestions for programs and, this type of thing. Now, this is aside from,
Your regular meeting.
We have had an annual friendship dinner, and that we need to talk about, also at this point.
If you plan to have one in November, we should make reservations in time. Because coming up on the 7th, you would hardly have time to get a suitable place.
Well, let's have one, and those that don't wanna come won't need to come, and we can make reservations for those who do. I mean, I can see how some people would.
I think this has always been a fairly nice affair, give everybody a chance to get out and see each other at night in a different atmosphere, and not down at the meeting just plugging away at something. Even though we're pushed for time and everybody's tired of going to meetings, this is not a meeting, this is a social hour. I think we need something to make us relax and enjoy each other instead of just griping at each other all the time.
I might say last year, I don't know how they did it, they got I think we were probably about the first or second group to use the ballroom, the grand ballroom at the Marriott. And, I tell you, it was plush, and, it was, the very atmosphere was, just real
Well, Ms.
exciting.
Pope, I think the majority of people that attended that dinner would say they paid many times to be entertained, but never entertained as well as they were by those students. I have never attended a program that I enjoyed more than the entertainment of the students. The program was beautiful.
My sister made a good suggestion, said that it's the time of the year that everybody seems to be objecting to, not the dinner. And since we're not tied, and since it's not gonna be our regular November situation this year, like we've been doing illegally here, why not have it in the spring, when people aren't so rushed with Christmas and Thanksgiving and holiday rush, and everybody's getting ready to be, and convention.
Be real nice.
You like social life in the spring?
Yeah, I feel so.
So maybe just.
And in the spring, they have this excuse, I'm going fishing and going on a vacation, and I've got to go to the league meeting, and I got to go to the pilot club meeting, and I just can't get to everything, my church is having a dinner, and it's just no time of the year. Thanksgiving or early before Christmas, I think, is one of our best times, because those dinners have been held through the years, and I think they've always been
Well, let's have,
enjoyed.
if you're gonna have some, have a Christmas dinner.
But that's up to everybody else.
Well, can we have a motion for time here, for the sake of,
All right.
moving through this? Who gives a suggestion or a motion for, actually what we need is a motion to continue or to discontinue or to consider it another date.
Or let your program, if you want it, let the program chairman committee work it out.
Yeah, I move that the program committee work the problem out and decide when to do it and let us know.
I second the
I'm
motion.
sure it'd be done right, too. Miss Hammond has it, it'll be right.
All right, we have a motion,
Graceful and
or
easy.
we are getting a motion that, the business, or the item of a friendship dinner, be left at the discretion of the program committee.
That's what she said.
Okay.
Do we have a second on this?
I second.
And Ms.
Be
Easton is
permitted
second.
to.
Is there further discussion? Then all in favor of letting the program chair and her committee decide about the annual friendship dinner, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Then the motion is carried. Then if you do not wish, or certainly if you wish to discuss further any general operational procedures or plans at this time, I'm very happy to hear them and have them come before the group.
Madam Chairman, I was just interested to know if anything had come of the effort to, of the private union, the ones that were appointed to get the hospitals together to talk about the registry, whether or not we should try to keep it open. Is that in order at this time? I don't know whether that comes under number 8. I was just interested to know if they had made any progress.
It is not, I don't believe, in order for this, in that it is called meeting. I would, for information, I have not heard of a meeting yet. This is, the community council is overseeing the expenses of continuing operating of the registry. And I understood my last information that there would be a meeting, and I have not learned of a meeting as of yet.
Supposed to be in October sometime, wasn't it?
Yes.
And we did get the $2,000 deposited to the register account, so.
There are
For the
efforts
first-
being directed in this area. Then if there's hearing, no suggestions, then if I may take the liberty to give you all a homework assignment to please bring your thoughts and even jot them down and have them ready for us, things that you feel like the group with which you represent would like to see our organization conscientiously work toward this next year. And for our first meeting, I appreciate your attendance and your support, and look forward to working another year with you. Thank you. We may have a motion to adjourn. We need a motion.
Justin, we adjourn.
I have a motion for adjournment. Have a second as well.
Third,
All in
fourth,
favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Then the motion to adjourn is carried.